was always the Jags. It was always the Jags. It was always the Jags. Always the Jags.
Welcome to Always the Jags, your podcast where we talk about all things Jaguars, all things Duval. Today we are reflecting on our Week 15 loss to the Ravens. Crazy to think that it's week 15 already. Does anyone else think this season is moving by super quickly? Like, it's insane. Anyway, we got a lot to unpack there, and today we will take on the Buccaneers, and we have some good news to share, and what should help, help buoy our playoff push and race for the division crown. So first, let's break down this loss to the Ravens. It's the maddening thing about this game is we were so in it. We were unbelievably in it. And it didn't get away from us until the fourth quarter, really. And when it reached a point where the Jaguars could really make a comeback, somehow I knew it was like we've already squandered too many opportunities to be able to do this. Like, if we look back at that game, starting in the broadcaster made a point. He was like, if you look at the stats, seems like the Jaguars should be up on the Ravens by a couple of scores. And you change 4 maddening plays and we're winning. And you fix a call by the refs that, was a touchdown by Calvin Ridley. But we'll get into that later. And we win. We win that game. We beat the best team in the AFC. Brandon McManus missed 2 field goals. Now, it was a windy night, stuff like that. But, we brought him in to hit 50-yarders and 55-yarders. That way, when we get to that point, we don't have to go for it on fourth down, if our drives stall out, and we don't have to punt it and give the other team a touchback. Now, when you're in that situation, maybe it would have been better to take a false start and punt it, try to pin him deep, because the Ravens did that a couple of times instead of having Justin Tucker attempt a 55-yarder. Maybe after the first one, but it's like that's 6 points that we should have. And so some of those misses, it wasn't like wildly off. It was like barely off. And again, we brought in Brandon McManus to make those kind of kicks. So there's 6 points that are gone. And our defense, overall, played well. Lamar Jackson our defense did a good job of breaking the pocket and collapsing him. On paper, Lamar Jackson was running for his life most of the night. Problem is, Lamar Jackson runs faster than anybody on the field at any given time. So he would take 5 or 6 steps and he'd in just a couple of seconds, he'd be so far away and be able to survey the whole field while you've got 250 pound defensive linemen trying to chase after him. So we applied good pressure. There was lots of good pressure the whole night. It's just, getting Lamar Jackson down on the ground is a whole nother story. And so that is understandable for why, our sack numbers weren't there and stuff like that. And again, having a guy like Danielle Hunter or Josh Uche, who's a little bit faster, a little bit leaner, maybe the Jaguars are looking at that like regret that we didn't make that move. But again, getting Lamar Jackson down on the ground is a whole different story. However, limiting the Ravens to 23 points is beautiful. That is a good defensive performance for the kind of firepower that they have and for the quarterback that they have. And again, go down to the missed mistakes. So we have 6 points that are off the board from us. Even if we have, let's say, one of those missed, one of those goes in. That's 3 points. Trevor Lawrence, after that excellent Rayshon Jenkins interception, I don't know if it's second or third down, and we're already in field goal range, and he's trying to make something happen, decides to run for it, and the ball just slips out of his hands. The ball just slips right out of his hands. And it's that is something that would have changed the whole complexity of the game, even if we were able to come away with 3. Obviously we all want touchdowns, but just protect the ball and come away with 3. And I don't know if he was trying to make a move, and again, I guess it was a rainy night and the ball was slippery. But I mean, no other player on the field just dropped the ball. I love Trevor Lawrence. He is the best quarterback we have ever had in Jacksonville. But to literally drop the ball in that scenario was the worst thing that could have happened, because then the Ravens just got it back and then they marched that down for a touchdown because they took that momentum. If we kicked a field goal there, which would have been like a chip shot 20, 30-yarder, the momentum could have flipped, because when the Ravens picked up that fumble, they ran it out to almost midfield, which is pretty much where Rayshawn Jenkins intercepted the pass in the first place. And so maybe that takes off 7 points for the Ravens. Maybe they only score 16, and we had 3 right there. And then, but that wasn't even, the Ravens went up 10-0 at that point. And the game still wasn't out of reach, because we got the ball and Trevor hit a beautiful pass to Zay Jones to put us down in the 5-yard line. Now, if I'm Doug Peterson and I'm Trevor Lawrence, I agree. We didn't have a whole lot of time. And in general, in that situation, you're thinking field goal. But sometimes when you get the defense thinking that you're going field goal and you throw a long pass like that and complete it, now you're thinking touchdown, right? So they hurry up to the line, and I completely understand wanting to catch the Ravens defense off guard. Totally get that too. Instead of spiking it, just go, 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 go. I don't think all the Jaguars were on the same page, and I don't think Press Taylor had the right play call for that. Because if you're going to do that, if you're not going to spike the ball, Tony Vaselli and Pete Prisco made this point very well. If you are not going to spike the ball in that situation, you need 5 skill position guys all going into the end zone. And that's it. Like, the pass is to the end zone or it's out of bounds. I don't know why. There's no reason to, even if Parker Washington had got out of bounds, there's no reason to hit a pass like that in the flat. There's no reason. He got tackled in bounds, and that just wasted a excellent sequence of events where we would have at least had 3 and had an excellent chance to go for 7. It's like, like a lot of times between the Jaguars, Doug Peterson, Press Taylor, I understand the thought process behind it, and it makes a lot of sense. And we'd all be saying a completely different story if Trevor hurried everyone to the ball, yelled the play, which was everybody go into the end zone, or have someone stop short right before the end zone, or like, run some route that frees a guy up so you can take the end zone shot. Like, that is an end zone shot moment. You only have 12 seconds and no timeouts. And if it's incomplete on the first down, okay, you had just got a first down with Zay Jones, it would have been second down. And then you still have third down to try again. And on fourth down, just kick the field goal. So, again, if they had spiked it on first, I understand like giving yourselves more chances to put it in the end zone too. Because if they had spiked it on first, that gets rid of a down. Sure. And then on second and third down, you can still try to throw it into the end zone. You get 12 seconds, plenty of time to take shots when guys are running 5-yard routes. And then on fourth down, that's where you kick the field goal. Could have been with 1 second left. And I understand, so like on first down, instead of spiking it, let's just throw it. An incomplete pass, we get another chance. So then you can still try again on second and third down. On paper, it makes sense. The execution does not. Why Parker Washington was even running a route to the flat, he should have been in the end zone, going to the end zone. Evan Ingram, Zay Jones, Calvin Ridley, Travis Etienne, all of them, even if the Ravens blitzed, Travis should have picked it up, or Trevor could have leaked it to him in the flat. And if Trevor was being blitzed, he should have just thrown it away. It's situational football. It's these kind of things that I'm just like, we could have had that game. Because if you score there, now it's 10-7, and we stopped the Ravens at the beginning of the half, and we would have had a chance to go up. And we went and scored. And then we scored that beautiful touchdown to Jamal Agnew a little bit later on. And had we scored there, that was the biggest missed opportunity. It would have at least been 10-10 or 14-10, which changes the entire complexity of the game. Give us one of those field goals. Give us the field goal where Trevor just dropped the ball. 20-10. We would have been 20-10. And the thing is, the Ravens played well. They played super well. They didn't make mistakes. So they don't have all these missed opportunities. Every opportunity they had, they took advantage of it. Even Rayshawn Jenkins' interception. Like, it wasn't that bad of a throw. Rayshawn Jenkins just read him the entire play. It wasn't like giving, it felt like we just gave the game away. And that's what hurts the most, because then when it came to the chance where Trevor Lawrence had a chance to go try to win it, and it was 10-7 and we got the ball back, we were at our own 20. The way the Ravens defense was teeing off, we just knew that the pressure was all on us, and it was too much, and we couldn't overcome it. And then, the Ravens go up, the Ravens score field goals and all that stuff, and then at the end of the game, that throw to Calvin Ridley was definitely a touchdown, especially on the repeat. His butt was inbounds, and he had possession of the ball. Now, that was kind of garbage time, and the Ravens weren't really playing a good prevent defense, but definitely the end score should have at least been 14-7. Maybe we could have went for 2, and maybe we could have got the onside kick. That's not why the Jaguars lost. Make no mistake. I'm not going to be one of those fans to say the refs cost us the game. And that's not why we lost. We lost because of poor execution and huge, huge mistakes. But the refs did end the game right there with that call. The game was over now. We still had 3 minutes to play, but the refs decided to end it with that call and not overturning that as a touchdown, because it very, very clearly was. Even the broadcast people decided that it was. I think they called, not Rich Eisen, his name escapes me from right now. But even he, the guy that usually reviews all the plays, was like, yeah, that looks like a touchdown to me. It was a touchdown. So it's just, and then if you throw that on there, we could have, like, it is literally not an overstatement to say we could have won this game 27-10 or 27-14, something like that. There were so many plays that if we make them, if we don't just give it's not even like plays that we didn't make or missed throws or like crazy catches. We just gave the game away. And I don't know how Doug can coach that out of us. We shouldn't be going through this. It's not even that young of a team. There's a lot of veterans everywhere. Foye Oluokun, Rayshawn Jenkins. And it's so hard because it's like in this losing streak, we've had so many mistakes. Like, our offense and defense just can't complement each other. Against the Bengals, we lost because our defense played poorly and made a backup quarterback look like a superstar. Against the Browns, both our defense and offense couldn't make big plays when we needed it. And now this week, defense held up their end of the bargain. You hold the Ravens to 23 points, everyone's smiling. And again, 7 of those points shouldn't even have been on the board because we should have kicked a field goal, and Trevor Lawrence should not have just dropped the ball. So the defense did their job. But our offense just gave it away. And like the broadcaster said, we're moving the ball up and down the field. You got to have a way to get it in the end zone. And I don't know if that's scheme. I don't know if that's the Ravens defense playing bend, don't break. And don't get me wrong, it is the best defense in the NFL. But the best defense in the NFL does not look at you and make you drop the ball. That's like, they don't make you run the wrong play at the 5-yard line. That's not what the best defenses do, nor do they make you miss field goals. Like, make your field goals. It's supremely frustrating, especially because, like, I would have preferred if we just got outclassed, or if the game was close back and forth and the Ravens just won it at the last second. Because in this game, the score looks like we were outclassed, and we were not. We played excellent for a lot of the game. But then we just gave it away. There's no other way to describe it. Like, against the 49ers, we were completely outclassed. Like, they are in a different realm. They outclassed the Eagles. They outclassed the Cowboys. They might do the same thing to the Ravens this weekend. And to know that, like, this was a chance where not only could we have ironed our lead, again, it was hard. We were playing with a very depleted roster. Missing our top 2 safeties, missing our number 1 wide receiver, missing a lot of guys. But it's like, to still have the chance to win. Again. And it's not like Christian Kirk would have had the wherewithal to get out of bounds. Press Taylor isn't injured. You call a play, or Trevor Lawrence is not injured. I don't know if Trevor was calling the play, or if Press was calling it, or if Doug was calling it. But you call a play where you get the guys into the end zone, and Trevor just throws that out if it's not there. Because we still had plenty of time. That's the crazy part. And so, that's the frustrating part, because again, we could have put ourselves in a position for the number 1 seed, because we would have been 9-5, had the tiebreaker over the Ravens. Had they lost to the 49ers and we won out, and again, Tampa, Carolina, and Tennessee next, so it's not hard to picture us winning out. And if we don't win out, I don't think we deserve to be in the playoffs in the first place. The Chiefs could have, I mean, it's hard to see the Chiefs dropping one to the Bengals now with the way that the Steelers kind of destroyed them. But if the Chiefs had dropped one to the Bengals, we could have been top. You know, Dolphins would have had to lose to the Ravens or the Cow. Well, Dolphins lost to the Titans, and that helped us out too in the race for the number 1 seed. So again, it's just Doug's gonna preach on it. Lost opportunity, missed mistakes. You guys had the talent to win this game, and you gave it away. And that's on Doug, that's on Press, that's on Trevor, that's on every player on offense. We had the talent and the wherewithal to win this game, and we literally gave it away. So now we got to hope that today we don't do the same thing against the Buccaneers. It's Baker Mayfield's playing well, but with all the things that the Jaguars know is on the line, this is still going to be a win for me. We should take this one. And honestly, if we lose, I don't think we deserve to be in the playoffs. If we lose to if we don't win out, we don't deserve to be in the playoffs, because none of these teams are playoff teams. If we lose to any of them, if we got into the playoffs, what would we do in the wild card, you know? And now Buffalo is storming their way back in, and like, we beat them, but we do not want to play them again, because Joe Brady has unlocked another aspect of their attack. So, either way, no need to fret, too much, Jaguars fans. Some people think that we might not even make the playoffs. It's not that deep. We just hit a rough stretch with some good defenses, some really good defenses, and the Bengals game is still just a shocker, and I can't get that out of my head. But we just hit a rough stretch with some really good teams. AFC North is a gauntlet, and we'll see. And if we make the playoffs, it'll still be impressive, because right now I think we have one playoff team from our division. Our division is sending one team to the playoffs right now, and they might send 2 if the Texans get back. So, to win our division against 2 playoff contenders, I mean, you can't say the Jaguars aren't good. So it's like, how do we fix this? I wish I knew. I wish it was simple. The broadcasters, it's like they kind of talk to the Jaguars like they're the little brother. Like, oh, they're so close. There's not there with those other top teams. Like, feels like there's still a player or 2 away. And it's like, you had the chance to shut all that up and be like, nah, we're here. We're the big brother. And you didn't. You just gave it away. So, again, I don't think this weekend will be a repeat. We're going to go to Raymond James Stadium, and we're going to take care of business. But, of course, it was always the Jags. Take care, everybody.